Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. Today on Versus, 28 years later, a movie that has divided fans. It's kind of crazy. People love it, and some people really do not like it. We will discuss, plus your comments, questions, more Superman news. The Fantastic Four, is it the biggest promotion ever for a Marvel movie? We'll talk about it. And our crew, they're here. They're waiting in the wings. I see at least two people. Two. So let's go. Let's get started. Let's start the show. Happy Monday to all of you. Let's go. Here we go. And Alan Ng is getting a dishwasher delivered. I was told this was happening right before the show started. So he's taking a little break there. But we've got the DA in the house. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? Glad to be here, Chris. Thanks for bringing me back. Looking forward to talking about 28 years later. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but apparently some did. So let's chop it up. Let's talk about it.
All right. Cool. Yeah, there we go. And Badger.
Thanks to Trump and ICE, we know that Alan got an American dishwasher, or I'm assuming a woman. Good for you, Alan. It's nice that your wife let you do that. Can't wait to talk about everything.
Yeah, Alan Ng. There's four of us here, which means I guess Juneteenth stretches through to the following Monday. Is that how the holiday works?
Oh no! Oh,
thank you, DA, for coming
in. Only you could make that joke, Alan. Only you. So here we go.
Well, actually, three of us could make that joke. One of us can't.
Yeah, well, there you go. Hey, Lord Comet, CG, did you miss me? Of course I do. Of course I miss you. Thanks, Lord Comet. Appreciate you. And support Film Threat. Our American AF collection just launched. That's right. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. We've got our Patriot collection here. We have the American AF shaker pint. So we have pint glasses. We have this. I have to get this hat. And it comes, there you go. You can get a red hat.
Yeah, you need to get the red hat, Chris.
The free to be indie. Oh man.
You know, get the red hat and then wear it at Comic-Con.
Yeah. Could I wear that at Comic-Con? I don't know. These are available for a limited time. So check that out. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. And we have, there's other stuff here too. Why did I not notice that? I guess we're adding, we even have, look at this. I don't know if is she naked behind that? It's a beach towel.
In my head, she is.
A Film Threat beach towel with the American colors. I like it. I like all this stuff. Look at that. Hey, Alan, I could see you in this.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look,
Totally acceptable.
Look, and this is, we have members of the Film Threat staff modeling all of our new shirt designs. Look at that.
Back to that last one there. Look, I could wear it pantsless.
You could. It comes down low enough. That's great.
So like in Star Wars or Star Trek.
So, there you go. Thank you to all the support. And look, Lord Comet.
Oh, for another two. The cap should say, "Make Film Threat great again." How dare you? It's great right now. It's only going to be better.
I have a red hat that says "Make Movies Great Again," and I got it on Etsy. Believe it or not.
By the way, this whole "great again." We just had a video go 150,000 views.
Yeah, that's it's our video on Elio. So let's talk about it. Alan, the box office. If you would put the numbers up, it was a weekend for bombs. America bombed Iran. And Elio bombed at the box office.
There we go.
There's no better segue. In fact, to commemorate, I don't know if you've seen this. Talk about the merchandising that's out these days. That's
a limited time offer. You can rebuild it into Trump Tower.
This is in poor taste. That's in poor taste.
I know.
That's not,
who did that? That's
too soon. That's
too soon. That's wrong. Whoever put
box
that,
office out.
shame on you.
Give us the analysis here. We had at number one, a repeat, How to Train Your Dragon 36 million. Cumulative now 160. 28 years later, debuted at number 2 with 30 million. Elio debuted number 3, 20 million.
By the way, it gets worse because even the international couldn't help it out. Normally, international would outperform domestic. 34 million over the weekend.
It is the worst debut ever for a Pixar movie. Lilo and Stitch at number 4 with 9.7.
Yeah, by the way, we should mention Lilo and Stitch is almost at $1 billion.
910 worldwide box office. 910
international.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, they dropped Minecraft off the list because out of theaters. Minecraft only made $950 million, and so Lilo and Stitch has a legit shot at being the only $1 billion movie this year.
Mission Impossible number 5 with 6.4 million. Materialists hanging in there, 5.5 million. Cumulative 23 million. Look, it's a small indie movie. That will make its money. Ballerina at number 7 with 4.5 million. Number 8, Karate Kid Legends with 2.4 million. Number 9, Final Destination Bloodlines, a fun movie, 1.8 million. Cumulative 134 million domestic. That movie made money. And Kubera at number 10, an Indian film, 1.7 million. I'm only saying that because I can't pronounce the distributor. It's Pratharanjan something. I can't pronounce.
You have to talk like they talk, please. And then when you talk like this, you can say Pratha Yangira. It is very good. Yes.
That's perfect. Badger, I love it. What do we take from this? Because Elio is the biggest bomb and the worst Pixar opening ever. Reported budget of, I've heard different. When I hear they report these, but I've heard 150 million, but that's the least. I've heard up to 300.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah. So we'd have to research it more to find out. But what do you guys think?
After watching Elio, it makes more sense that it was 150 million than 300 million.
Yeah, it does not look at this global box office. Pixar's Elio craters with 30. Why did they say crater? Is that a reference to?
It's a space reference.
Iran.
It's a space reference.
Other space reference. With 35 million, 28 laters awakens to 60 million. So there you go. That's global. There you go. What do we take away from the Elio bomb?
First thing I'm thinking is the Pixar brand pretty much just dead at this point? Like, Pixar used to mean amazing. It's something for everybody. The family can go and, you'll get the kid stuff, but the adults will find a little fun in it as well. I saw Elio and there was absolutely nothing for me there. I just saw it because my audience super chatted me into it. But
yeah, they do that.
That happens. It does happen.
Oh my God.
But it was so drab. It was boring. It was hard to watch. And I was just like, little kids, 8 years old will love it. But everybody else is just like, there's nothing for me. It's so far from what we got with Finding Nemo and The Incredibles and, Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story, obviously, and all the old Pixar classics from the past. We're not getting anything like that now. And it seems like if they're not doing like Inside Out 2 or Toy Story 5 or whatever they're doing next, it seems like if we're not getting that, Pixar really doesn't have anything left.
Dante, Verbal Riot, thanks for joining us, popping on late. It's all good.
Yep, I am here.
Yeah, well, you were up late with Flashcast.
No. I was dog sitting all weekend, so I didn't get a chance to do a whole lot.
That's right. I saw you on George's show.
Yeah,
George's show. That's great. So I don't know if you saw either of these movies, but it seems like Pixar, really looking at it, it's only the sequels that do well, right? I mean, Inside Out 2, we have, other things, the sequels do well, original IP not doing well.
But you remember back in the day, like Finding Nemo made like $800 million, like they still had original movies. The Incredibles, I think The Incredibles made like $700 million. you had good movies that would come out, and Pixar was always doing original things. And even if it didn't make a lot of money, it was still interesting. Like I liked Ratatouille, A Bug's
Yeah.
Life. It's like they had these different weird worlds. That's like, hey, we're gonna go underwater and see what these clownfish are doing, and we're gonna write a whole story around it. It was interesting. They no longer do that. It's just like Elio is just such a I don't know. It's just a disappointment to see Pixar falling this low. They used to be great.
Yeah, I love Pixar films. There was always something special. Even Inside Out 2, I got a little choked up at the end. It always seems like they've got, this emotional tug right at the end where you think, where's this going? And then it pays off. This had none of that. I mean, Alan, you went over it in detail.
But one thing I didn't talk about was excellence was always a word associated with Pixar.
Right.
Brilliance was always associated with Pixar. Being able to connect with people emotionally, that's what you always expected with a Pixar movie. And quite frankly, I don't think that has happened since Coco, ironically, since that was the last film that John Lasseter had his hands on.
Yeah. And I loved Coco. That film, so great about family. The music, first of all, amazing in Coco. Second thing is all the Day of the Dead stuff was so great. And then his relationship with his grandmother. I mean, that got me in the end. I mean,
well, then compare that to Up, where in the first 10 minutes you're bawling.
Oh,
yeah.
Destroyed everyone.
Yeah, man, that was rough.
And this movie just completely lacked that, even though it had an off-screen death of the title character's parents. It's in the first minute of the movie.
Isn't this movie a victim of a couple of different things? One, it got delayed because of COVID, but what I suspect is the bigger one is this underwent probably a cultural course shift in the narrative and writing once they realized the writing was on the wall, but they might have been too far along to make any substantial changes.
Yeah. I mean, the word I heard was there was a change in directors. So it was started by a director who had done some other ones, replaced by the director of Turning Red. And then they claim that the original director obviously was Hispanic, Latino, and that he was moved on to Coco 2, which scares me now about Coco 2. I talked about it on some podcasts. I don't know if it was ours, but John Lasseter, what made John Lasseter great is he had the power, he had the veto power.
Yeah.
It was no. If he didn't like it, it didn't get in. And it just doesn't seem like it's there anymore. And if you read the D files, for anyone to say no, especially to a person of color, that's racism.
Yeah.
And so now you have the inmates running the asylum rather than having someone who has experience, has understanding of how animation works, how storytelling works, to kind of guide the process and just put your foot down and say, no, this is not going to work in theaters. We're not putting it in our movie. That's what Disney needs.
Yeah. Well, care to speculate on Elio and the bombing? Is the Pixar brand forever tarnished now? Can Pixar do an original people are interested in, and can they push back against, I'll just say this, the less experienced animators in the room? Can a veteran, or as they're called, a colonizer, can they just say, hey, maybe not this, let's do this design for a character, you know what I mean? Can they push back?
I reference you guys on Film Thread all the time. I think it's one of the Alan articles that one of them is Disney Animation, The Killer of Dreams. And then basically the whole story of once we got Lasseter out and Jennifer Lee took over and influencers started to be hired, and then they could not meet deadlines and they were hired for the wrong reasons. And so now you're seeing all the people that knew what they were doing got pushed out. And now they're very slowly starting. I forgot his name, but there's a veteran in animation. It's an older white guy, spoiler. And he's coming back. And while I see that as very good, that he's coming out of retirement, it means they might actually have learned that some of our vets knew what they were talking about, the OGs, bring them back. What are they going to do now when they meet these new kids that are still there,
right,
and have never been held accountable to deadlines? And
well, I think it's poor management. It really is leadership. You've got to say, you've got to be willing to say no and not be in fear that you'll be called a name. And that's what leadership is. And I think Lasseter, you might not have liked every decision, but look at the track record. Hit after hit after hit. They're making Toy Story 5. You know, you don't make a 5th one. There are not many franchises that have 5, you know, get to number 5. Well, there's a few off the top
Except for
of my head,
Saw.
but
That has like 12.
Well, Saw was, yeah. If you get past double digits in your franchise, you're doing well. But I mean, the Star Wars franchise, double digits.
No, I think Pixar, unlike the MCU and unlike Lucasfilm, Pixar has kind of kept a decent name for themselves.
Yeah.
I think this was a big miss for them, probably the biggest miss they've ever had, because I think it was like it opened 3rd, right? Which is no Pixar movie's ever done.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, man. You know, Robert Rodriguez said a long time ago that everybody has a bad movie in them. In fact, everybody has about 10 bad movies in them, right?
Yeah.
So it could just be this was their miss, right? They shot, they missed. I'm not taking too much from this at all, just because it is Pixar, and I know they'll bounce back probably like within their next movie, right? Well, I will say though, what's interesting about this situation with Elo is even mainstream media now is starting to criticize the quality of Disney's work, right?
Yep.
I saw that this morning on Good Day LA, where they're talking about how much Disney's kind of fallen a little bit. And I'm like, so you guys are finally like catching up to what YouTubers have been talking about for the past like 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, all of a sudden now the mainstream media sees the problem that we saw like years ago, and now they're talking about it.
Yeah.
I just it makes me sad because a Pixar movie, like a Star Wars movie, became an event, and now I think the brand is tarnished. I think it's tarnished.
I don't know if the brand is tarnished. I think again, it's Pixar. I still think they have a better reputation than most studios. I think they could bounce back very easily.
Well, I think with a sequel they can. Toy Story 5. If they do a sequel, Inside Out 3.
But look how they spun off. They spun off Toy Story and with Lightyear, and that was a bomb. So even their spinoffs may not work out. Elemental legged it out, but it started out bad.
Wasn't really a spin-off because it wasn't Tim Allen. It was, what I'm saying? They took the right idea and they did all the wrong ingredients for it.
Yeah. You need great creatives, and that's what Pixar, at least in my opinion, used to have. I don't know, maybe they need to get John Lasseter back over there.
They do, and they canceled a movie. Alan talked about that. In hindsight now, there was an Iranian culture Pixar movie that they remember, and it was supposedly super far along. Boy, I'd like to know what that movie was about now.
Well, I mean, the thing is this: what remains to be seen. I mean, this movie is a failure. It's a loss. That's it. What remains to be seen is, will they learn the lesson? Can they be reflective to go, the team that we elevated were not given the right direction? I do not doubt there are many talented people on that team, right? But they don't have experience. You need to be led by experience. You need to hear, no, this doesn't work. This works. This is better. We've got to regroup. I mean, Lasseter famously stopped work on Toy Story and did a page 1 rewrite, remade Toy Story 1. It was a different movie. So I think they need the kind of leadership that can, make the tough decisions. Let's do a timeline cleanse here with the cutest Superman promo ever. I want you guys to see this because I had to see this, and just there's been a lot of promos, but check this out. We're going to take a look at this video from X, 25 seconds.
David's got a dog.
Oh, Ira. Hi. This is Ira. Hi, Ira. That's a good boy. Yeah, that's it. Come here. Ira, come here.
You have a dog?
So David Cornsweat actually brought his actual dog to the set Alan, what did you think?
Bish, please.
We'll talk Bish, please, tomorrow. No, it's innocent, it's fun. I will say they are. We're not talking about it today. Later this week, the Superman promotion on social media is insane. It's out of control. And on that note, the Fantastic Four First Steps is coming, and I don't know. This is the biggest promotion for a Marvel movie in recent. I can't remember a movie that was pushed like this. You, Alan, you were in Hollywood this weekend for Dances with Films, and you sent me a photo, and here it is on the streets of Hollywood, one of those automated delivery with the skinning of the Fantastic Four First Steps. I've never seen this many promotions for a Marvel movie. I can't think ever. It's out of control. Here are a couple more that I saw. Some more promotions.
I hope you have the pizza commercial.
Well, look at this. And actually, I like this because I am an AMC A-list member. I'm not promoting this other than I'm a customer, and they do custom flavors for certain movies. I actually like the Red Hulk flavor for Captain America Brave New World. That was really good. So now they have 4 Fantastic Four First Steps flavors. It's the Orange Rock Punch for the Thing, Stretch Blend Barks, so that's root beer for Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Force Freeze Sprite for Invisible Woman, and Ginger Cherry Blaze Seagram's flavor for Human Torch. And I'm gonna try all 4. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try all 4.
Put booze in the Seagram's one for reasons.
I was gonna say this. I think there's an alcoholic drink that ties in with that. We'll check that out. Here's one last promo that I want to show you here. It's the promo for the 3D version of the movie. Very, very short, but here, let's check this out.
Message from the Fantastic Four. Please put on your Real D 3D glasses.
And before we go to comments, real quick, that is only the second shot of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards stretching. Once in one of the trailers and in a promo for the movie. And by the way, there is a new trailer for the Fantastic Four dropping on Wednesday.
Better be amazing.
I feel like, does all this promotion feel desperate?
Yes. Because they are desperate.
I feel that too. What do you guys, please?
I think they're desperate. I think they know that, we've already heard, I think Feige said at a Cine Europe over the week that this movie leads directly into Doomsday. So it was almost like he was saying, yo, you got to go watch this movie because you're excited about Doomsday, right? You want to see Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, it's coming up. We did all these things with chairs and everything. Well, Fantastic Four is going to lead directly into that. So it's almost like they're telling you, you got to go watch this movie because you care about this other movie. And it's like they still are doing the whole cinematic universe thing. And it's like, can we just focus on Fantastic Four without bringing up what else you have coming up? Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yes, we've tried the pizza. It's not that bad for $7.99.
No, it wasn't bad at all, actually. Granted, we were drunk.
I was going to say, thank you.
Right. Yeah, well, it had to be. But based on the fact that not yet another trailer is coming out Wednesday, my prediction, this trailer, we're going to get more of Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Give me anything.
We have not seen.
I feel like we've seen nothing of Fantastic Four. I've seen too much of Superman. The only thing, James Gunn, every time he opens his mouth, every time David opens his mouth, I want to see it more because, boy, he just seems like a really nice Superman type guy. Fantastic Four, I feel like we've seen nothing. And every time we do, it's Beta, Mr. Fantastic, going, I can't save you. We'll try and save you. I don't know.
Right.
Trailer
I
needs
just
to be amazing.
I don't think I've seen Marvel ever come off as desperate. More promotions than I think we've ever seen for a movie. You know, and we've covered it from the toys to everything else, the popcorn buckets, all that. It comes off like they are grasping at straws because they know this has to be, they got to ride this out until December 2026 when Doomsday comes out.
Yeah, but you know what's not going to help them? Ironheart.
Well, we'll talk about
Ironheart
that
comes
tomorrow.
out, and that is the
What's wrong with
lead-in.
Ironheart?
That is the lead into to Fantastic Four.
Look what you did to
Yeah.
Dante. You traumatized him with Ironheart.
Oh, that was pure shite. But we're not going to get into that today. I mean, but
Tomorrow.
no, I mean, yeah, they're in trouble, man, and of course they're desperate. Nothing they're doing is working. Nothing. So I don't know, man. I think Doomsday is doomed.
They brought back Robert
I'm
Downey
putting
Jr.
It's
Yes.
not going to be the big event they all think it's going to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they got every character from the last 20 years showing up in this movie, all the way from Patrick Stewart, you know, all the way up to probably Ironheart. She's probably going to be in this thing. You got Robert Downey Jr. coming back from the dead. It's like they are absolutely desperate. They have no interesting ideas of where to go next. I've been saying it for a while. They need to just push pause for a couple of years and reboot all of it. But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep pushing forward. And so, yeah, they got to do these desperate moves. How else do you get people into theaters? How else are you going to put butts in seats? They're working on their, third flap, right, of the year? They've already flopped twice. This one, they can't flop. Can they flop 3 times?
Don't worry, though. Don't worry, because when Doomsday Avengers comes out, they're going to focus on the characters you like Sentry from Thunderbolt and Florence Pugh. I'm not even fucking joking. Like all the rumors that like Doomsday is going to focus on all the people that flopped and all the things that you didn't watch the last 4 phases.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I mean, the thing is, Depp and Wolverine already did what Doomsday is supposed to do, right? They brought back all these Fox characters. Okay, we already saw that with Deadpool and Wolverine. So, yeah, it might be nice to get Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen back for, an Avengers movie, but I don't think anyone cares anymore. We got Wesley Snipes with, we got Blade, we got Elektra, we got our Fox nostalgia. We got our Fox nostalgia out of our system, right? So Doomsday's not going to really do much.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're going to be a year and a half without a Marvel movie. That's the biggest gap. I think what they're trying to do is edge their audience, so to speak. Maybe
but it's not working though.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be like a 300-pound chick trying to edge you. Like, get out of here, man. Like, right? I mean, no effect. No effect.
Don't look up what edge means, anyone. Please don't.
Everybody's looking it up right now.
Yeah.
No, but and you're right, Dante. They did the same thing with Spider-Man No Way Home, right? They brought back all of these characters in the Spider-Man universe, all the villains. They connected all 3 levels of Spider-Man. So you had all of this nostalgia bait just out there. Oh, look at all this nostalgia. Didn't you love that? It's like, okay, yeah, we like that. That was great. It made like almost $2 billion. And then you had Deadpool and Wolverine did the exact same thing. And this is going to be like the 3rd time. And it's like, come on, guys. Is that what we're really doing? We're just pushing nostalgia porn in our face. Like, come on.
The point was, it wasn't nostalgia porn. It was people we like. There was nostalgia, but then they gave them catharsis, something to do, gave them a little cap on some of their stories. Right. Toby got to have his moment. Andrew got to have his moment when he saves their version of MJ. That was all great. Now they will learn the worst lessons. They will not even give anything substantive. They won't even try. And it'll be like in Multiverse of Madness where, oh, look, and they're dead.
Well, I mentioned in my review, I think Disney overall is incapable of learning from its successes and its failures. It's taking the wrong lessons and applying those, and we're just seeing it compound now. Yeah. It's interesting how the only successes Disney has had is when it teams up with outside forces like Sony.
It curtails their dumber ideas.
Let's go to some comments here, and I've got a lot of other news stories. So let's go, Badger, if you would.
Little comment for 2. The cap should say, well, we already talked about this. Make film threat great again. It's already great. comment.
That's right. Thanks.
Raf Web for 2. In the name of all that is holy, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Press M just after Thunder or Ironheart. You definitely want to cancel it, right, Dante?
Oh, dear
Press
God.
M to start for 2. Brain cancer scene hit hard. Ending was silly. By Elio.
Well, we're talking about 28 years later. Thanks, M.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we're talking
Lord
about
comment.
Elio. You're
Yeah,
right.
you know, I thought we is an eye.
Yeah.
Who knows? Lord comment for 5. We dropped a bomb in Iran, and we dropped a lot of bombs in the movies. Fantastic Four and Superman hasn't even arrived yet. For 2 more bunker busters.
Thanks, Lord Comment.
Lord comment for 5. Back in the day, before the bad times, the Empire, people should deal with their knee problem. The Disney, that is.
That's right. Disney. I saw what you did there.
Jeremiah for Hembry, for 5, Jeremiah Hembry. So you can talk about Punisher and Mobland season 2.
Mobland season 2. It's coming. I'm very excited. I hope it comes quickly. I just, the problem is with these big shows now, like House of the Dragon, among others, the gap between seasons becomes so great. And I understand they're complex shows that I feel like you begin to lose the audience. Even though I always have to watch a recap video.
Like Reacher, when it comes back 2 years, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, like 2 years. I mean, seasons, you should have 1 year between seasons, period. But that's all I have to say is I can't wait. Anyone else? Bobland? It's very good.
I was waiting.
Best,
you haven't seen it?
Best TV this year.
Yeah.
Best TV show this year. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Lord comment for 2. Disney is cuckoo for Coco.
That's true.
Native Britain, member for 1 month. Disney needs breaking up. It's become a monopoly, and failure keeps happening.
Yeah, you would think they would, like Alan said, learn from their successes and failures, and they don't seem to learn anything.
Look what is happening to Warner Brothers, where they're piecemealing out and separating and making streaming for their cables. Axel's Abode, member for 10 months.
Let's never forget, though, they did it to themselves.
100%.
Let's always remember that.
All of them.
They wanted that BlackRock money. They wanted that Vanguard money, and they got it. And they said, "Fuck you, fans. They deserve everything that they get."
Yeah. 28 years, indicative of an industry that can't focus.
Thanks, Axel's Abode. Thanks.
Day Trapera for 100. Don't show that video of David Cornsweat with his dog again. I'm afraid my ovaries will explode.
He looks like just a normal guy. When you look at videos of him from the past, there's that one famous one where he basically recites all this dialogue from Star Wars in his car. It's so cool. He just seems, like Cavill, like a decent dude. So
I've watched a bunch of his videos, like for this stuff, and him just talking. He's one of us. Unfortunately, we can't hate him. He's a fucking nerd. He loves all the things. Yeah, and he's just a nice dude.
He convinced James Gunn to do the red trunks.
Yeah,
he's basically
and his dog is well behaved.
He's
basically the anti Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yes. He is the anti.
And there was a video of him talking about how the weight and responsibility he feels of playing Superman and what a good job he wants. It's like everything right that you could say.
Everything you're supposed to say. I love it.
Yeah. And I actually think he meant it. Lord comment for 5. 4 steps. 1, start drinking. Step 2, drink more. Step 3, try to watch Fantastic Four. Step 4, request your money back for wasting your time and booze. Rawr. And then you start that first step over again.
Precisely. Thank you.
Lord comment for 2. Fantastic Four is going to be a real big event of the huge fail variety. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Uncle Jimmy, member for 2 months. Love Film Threat. Didn't know I get to send these messages with memberships, so I'll just say Dictos.
Dictos, which we will cover when it comes out.
Yes.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thumbs up 1981 for 199. Oh, look, and they're dead. Thank you for that.
Do we know the budget yet of the Fantastic Four? Have we found out?
Too much so far.
I mean, do we have like a number though?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, look that up. But
is it a number you can trust?
I almost have
225.
They're at least going to do a little bit better than their budget, but not by much. But that's kind of like my estimate.
Well, if the marketing push is high too. MK Solid for another $1.99. Chris, what did you hear about Spielberg and Zegler?
It was from a YouTube video that compiled, recent stories about Zegler, but apparently Spielberg went dark on promoting her. He basically hired her, and then on the set, she was a nightmare to deal with, kind of telling people, pushing back against wardrobe choices or whatnot. And I've only heard negative, but Spielberg was a total pro. He never badmouthed her publicly, but he distanced himself from her. You can look it up and find it.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
By the way, the estimated budget on Fantastic Four is $250.
Oh fuck.
There you go.
It's that 225 they say for everything, and so it's just a little bit above that. But Jeff Romatic's member for 17 months, underappreciated zombie movie Fido.
Yeah, it is.
Roman 87 for 1790 Martian pesos. Hi, Chris. Seco released new Jaws 50th anniversary watch. Oh, for the nostalgia.
Well, I mean, I gotta watch it because I got the Jaws popcorn bucket right here, so I gotta be very careful. I love Jaws. There was never merch when that movie came out. Nothing. It was Star Wars that started all the merch.
Yeah.
Naveen for 100 rubies. When your saving grace is Sony, who has put out shite like Madam Web, Craven, and Morbius, etc., it says how much the MCU has fallen. Facts.
Very astute observation. Yeah, when Sony's making smarter choices.
The Napski for $9.99. Obviously, Amazon, Netflix, BBC, and Disney can obviously afford the financial suicide from these flops. This seems more than spreading the message. So then, what's really going on here? Well, we've explained it before, right? Like a substantive amount of the people there actually do believe the message, and they had no problem getting rid of the toxic fans, and they thought they could replace our money with the money that Verbal Riot so commonly talked about, that it was very easy to get. And it turns out you can't replace us because we were the ones that bought all the shit that we put on our walls and kept talking about it and tell our kids about. And so now they're back to wanting, as my co-host says, you got to make them afraid of our money. And we did. And so now we're seeing the results.
Well, here we go. We need to take a look at this story. We've been talking Elio and its collapse at the box office. This is a story worth talking about. Walt Disney animation chief says diversity is crucial to studio's success. Let's see if you have notes for this story. If not, I'll send you the link.
I do have notes. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Get to it.
Okay. Bush is focused on reviving Disney animation with a mix of original stories and sequels, including Zootopia 2, Frozen 3 and 4, and potential expansions of Encanto and Moana. So this is the chief of Walt Disney Animation, Jared Bush, saying all of this. He emphasizes the importance of risk-taking, emotional storytelling, and diverse voices in filmmaking, stating that audiences want to be surprised, and that risk is key to creativity. Bush is planning a 10-year slate that balances originals and continuation stories, and is involved in mentoring new filmmakers, including a new original film for 2026. Bush is aware of evolving animation styles and wants Disney to push visual boundaries, but only when it serves the story. He pointed to upcoming stylistic shifts in Zootopia 2 and hinted at a possible return to 2D animation. Ron Clements, this is the guy I was talking about earlier, actually. Ron Clements, co-director of The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, has been brought out of retirement to mentor younger artists and support this evolution. And then there's just one more part. Zootopia 2 is expected to explore deeper societal themes, continuing the franchise's commentary on prejudice and justice. The sequel shows lead characters on the run from law enforcement, reflecting current social conversations. Bush also aims to create a more transparent and supportive development process at the studio, where artists feel safe to make creative mistakes early. Overall, Bush's vision blends respect for Disney's legacy with a forward-looking agenda of diverse, emotionally resonant, and bold storytelling aimed at reinvigorating Disney animation for the next generation.
What do you think of this, Alan? You are the Elio expert.
Emotionally resonant.
So this is the guy who's replacing Jennifer Lee, which we went in depth with the D-Files. Everything he says here is exactly what I'd expect a politician to say. He's saying the things that we all want to hear, but backs nothing up. Of course he's going to say diversity is great, which is the first warning here is going back to they're not learning from their mistakes. What was it? 2D animation. Why go back to 2D animation? Because that's what we want to hear. And so he says it. Was a bold storytelling aimed at reinvigorating Disney animation. What does that even mean? What indication do we get that Disney has learned its lesson, that Jared Bush here is going to take the company in a brand new, bold direction? Basically, this guy is just, until we see what he's got under his sleeve, he's not to be believed.
What about Ron Clements coming out of retirement? What do you think about that?
Yeah, is he going to actually direct something, or is he just going to?
It says mentoring.
And what will they listen? Teach them? It's one thing to teach animation; it's another to teach storytelling, and that's what I'm not hearing. Bold storytelling. What does that mean? What does that mean? Look, I don't care if the animation gets better or gets worse, because all of that doesn't matter unless you have a good story behind it. Yeah. You could have done Elio with that lame Steven Universe animation and still told a great story, but they couldn't even do that. And so Jennifer Lee did need to go, but I don't get the sense from Jared Bush that he is the bold replacement that's going to take Disney animation into new directions.
Well, I think that you pointed it out, Alan. He's talking like a diplomat, not like a leader. A leader doesn't a leader gives no fucks. You are, and John Lasseter, I always respect when I see a creative or an executive when they're speaking and they will just bluntly say the truth. And I think that the public appreciates that because we get it. So it doesn't, we don't hear it all that often. When like a Lasseter will say, no, not this, decisive. And that comes from experience. I just think his sort of wishy-washy diplomatic, response in that article is just tells me it's not going to get better. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, to me, it just sounded like you said, it sounds like a politician. He sounds like he's just trying to say the right things. I don't know if any of that makes a difference. Like, we need to see it on film. We need to see it in the theaters. We need to see what they're going to do. Bringing back Ron Clements sounds like a good idea, again, on paper, but what is he going to do? Is he going to, how's he going to mentor these guys? Is he going to show up and say, hey, look, gather around, everybody. This is what I used to do, and walk them through his process of storytelling and creating? Or is he just going to kind of look over their shoulder and say, yeah, don't do this, don't do that? I don't know. All of that is what I want to know, when it comes to that story. What's his process of teaching these guys? It just sounds like he's just going to kind of be a consultant.
Here's where Jared Bush could have saved himself with this. He could have just said, look, we've made mistakes. These past few years of Disney animation have been awful with the way we treat our animators. The stories we've been telling, here's where Strange World failed. Here's why people didn't see that movie. Look, there's something about transparency. There's something about owning up to your mistakes, recognizing the mistakes you made, and then delivering on saying, this is what we're going to do instead of what we did. And that's what he could have said.
They can't do that because then they have to admit that DEI failed.
Yep.
Right. They'll never admit that. They'll go down in flames before they admit that DEI failed, right? And that's really what happened here. And he said everything but that.
Yep,
everything but that.
So, he said diversity is crucial.
So again, if they refuse to see it themselves, if they refuse to learn their lessons, they deserve just to go down in flames.
Yeah, funny because you were right. We were saying it the whole time, and now they're saying what we're saying. But when we said it, it's because we're all toxic and racist, and we hate women and all the things like that.
We're the problem.
But now they're saying it, and they were like, "Well, it wasn't true at the time when you were saying it, but now it's true. But it's true for different reasons." But it's like, oh, stop! It's so obviously bad across every what we're talking about being replaced, and the people inside Disney Animation and Pixar weren't what they were. Guess what? It's the same in every single video game studio. And so everything that has a name, the people that made that name are gone. And the people that are in control, for the most part, still believe all that goofy shit that led it to ruin.
Speaking of going down in flames, the Ray movie.
No.
Is it canceled? Is it delayed?
It's done.
No.
It's done.
Ray, and I predicted this. I predicted this when Charmin Obaid-Chinoy went on CNN on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. Right
New
around
Year's
there.
Eve,
And it was promoting this movie. I said, "Oh, it's a dead project." So the Star Wars Ray movie is delayed, and that's a good thing. Lots of articles, and there are conflicting reports. We'll go over just the two main reports here, but we've got here from Screen Rant. Ray's new Jedi Order movie delays are actually good news for Star Wars.
Oh God!
I don't know how you say that.
And good news for Star Wars fans.
Remember, they called
I
Ray
feel-
the most important cinematic asset that they had.
I mean, I'll just say this. It leaves nowhere for the story to go. You killed your legacy characters, Han, Luke, and Leia. You did nothing with characters like Lando and Admiral Akbar, who were also but from where I stand, were also disrespected.
Totally.
Even though, well, I mean, Lando survives, and there was supposed to be some subplot. Was Finn supposed to be his son? I mean, that would have been drama, right? That
No,
could
he's
have
supposed
been.
to be force sensitive. His daughter, Lando's daughter, is in the third one real horribly.
Well, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we're left with the granddaughter of the franchise's main villain as the surviving member. No, like sons of, no Solo kids, no Skywalker children, nothing.
No, we're left with the offspring of basically she is the product of Palpatine's old dick, right? And that's what we get stuck with. But here's the thing, though, I do feel bad for Daisy Ridley, man. This is honestly, this is Charlie
Yes.
Brown with the football happening with her, man. Like I really, like, I almost wish she would just say, "Screw you guys, don't ever call me again."
I wish
Like, I
have
wish she would just
so
say
much respect for Daisy Ridley if she told these people, you know what, double middle fingers, I'm gone.
She's
tired
still
of
getting
this crap.
movie. She's still getting a trilogy with the Simon Kinberg directed. written
Yeah,
by
and
George
Ryan
Nolte.
Johnson and all of that. Yeah,
No.
we've heard it. We've heard
The-
it all before.
This article says this was canceled because they're focusing on the Simon Kinberg trilogy, which is her fucking trilogy.
I don't believe it until they start shooting. None of this exists. But an insider says this is a different story here that I'll bring up.
Also, if I were her, I wouldn't turn down any roles.
Right.
Take all the
Right.
money she can while she can get it.
Yeah,
I would have so much respect if she just walked away.
This is
So
from
much
2 days ago from Superhero Hype. Ray Skywalker movie not shelved, says insider. I don't know what to believe. I mean, you can look up. That's why I don't want to get into too much detail in these stories because they're based on nothing. But right here, let's get from Jeff Snyder of the Insider. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Lucasfilm doesn't have a script yet, so it's not on hold. It's actively being written. Lucasfilm is waiting on the Rey movie to be delivered. That script has not been finalized. If it was on hold, they'd say, you know what, stop writing. We're not even going to do it. But they're waiting for it, so it's not on hold. As I've said in the past, that movie is not the only one with Rey in it as a lead character. There are multiple projects being developed with Rey as the lead character. The Rey Star Wars movie does not have an official release date at this time, and no other casting is known beyond Ridley. Yeah, no, this is what we were saying. That so Sean Levy's Starfighter is being focused on, and the Simon Kinberg trilogy with Rey, which then may affect the Charmin Obaid-Chinoy one, which takes place 15 years after the movie. So yeah.
Well, and then they talk about Mandalorian and Grogu in May 2026.
But,
And then you missed the part about Kathleen Kennedy retiring.
Yeah.
And wanting to go out on a win.
Yeah. Filoni will take over and Carrie Beck will be
I don't know.
co-leads.
Guys. I'm just unconvinced about any of this. And I don't see how you hang the future of the franchise on a character that, and by the way, not Daisy Ridley's fault. She's never gone after fans. She's very thoughtful when she responds to pointed questions from media. I actually like Daisy Ridley. And I think she's a decent actor. She's okay, but everything she's been in post Star Wars has bombed. So if they were going to hang it on her as an actress, you know, you could.
It's her character, though. The character, nobody is interested in seeing any more of Rey. You know, nobody cares about this character. Why keep doubling and tripling down on a character people have pretty much rejected?
They can't admit they were wrong.
Right? Yeah.
It's what Dante said. They can't admit they were wrong.
They're trying to fix her the same way. Maybe they're trying to fix her like they fixed Anakin. They tried to quote unquote fix Anakin in the Clone Wars. That's what a lot of people say. The Clone Wars kind of repaired the Anakin character. You can't repair Rey. Okay, just forget it. That character is a terrible character. She's a Mary Sue. Nobody likes this character.
No amount of fixing her, even if she's the most personable, great, she struggles, and it's all explained. No one wants to see her rebuild the Jedi Order that should have been Luke rebuilding the Jedi Order. It's just, it feels
the only
wrong.
thing I think you could do with her is turn her into a villain. Like lean into the Palpatine. Just lean all the way into the Palpatine and make her the next galaxy scourge and try to build her up and then find people to take her out. That's the only thing you can do with the character. They'll never do it. But that would make her interesting. She's not interesting at this point. She's nobody I care to see again. But if you turn her into like that evil like Rey that you saw in the last one, you know, with maybe you you could kind of squint and look sideways and see a story there. I don't care about this character otherwise. There's nothing there, man. It's absolutely unconscionable what they're doing with this franchise. And they keep doubling down on dumb decisions.
Like, at this point, not everybody is meant to be a leading actor or actress. Look, let's call it what it is. Daisy Ridley is not a leading actress. She's not the star. She's not the person who's going to put asses in seats. Right. She would be a great co-star. She would be a great supporting actress. I think she'd do very well there. I think she needs to aim for those kind of roles.
Yeah.
That's like saying Mark Hamill is not a leading actor.
Oh, how dare you? That's true.
I
mean, his post Star Wars career was pretty spotty until he started
voice acting. Yeah.
Voice acting.
I mean, he did the Joker, and he was Fart Knocker and saying Silent Bob Strike Back. Like those were his big roles.
He did Fire Lord Ozu.
Was it Cockknocker
or Cockknocker? My bad.
Yeah. Okay, Cockknocker.
Yeah, please.
Look, let me
get it right.
Chad is going after us now.
But his Joker is the greatest interpretation of Joker that has ever existed and will ever existed. Like it is the benchmark for a Joker.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's a good voice actor. He's a very good voice actor. Absolutely.
But the point is that his career is not that far off from Daisy Ridley's.
Yeah,
correct.
Oh, not at all. No. Hey, maybe Daisy Ridley should do voice work.
Hey,
that would make sense. It would make sense for her. But yeah, no, I predicted this movie would never happen, and I still don't believe it will happen. I think they're going to go with safe choices only.
So the trilogy won't happen, the trilogy after this won't happen. So
hell no.
Well, Sean Levy will be
all of it. I don't think any of it's happening. I think the Starfighter and Mando and Grogu, and then they're going to wait and see how Mando and Grogu. Because there's rumors that if Mando and Grogu does well, then we might get a trilogy. You know, if that does well.
Well, the rumor was if it doesn't do well, Filoni's not going to get his follow-up Thrawn Ahsoka thing, and they'll just do another season of Mandalorian and Grogu. But if it does good, they'll all have that movie.
But also, let me ask you guys a question. When's the last time you heard anybody or just conversation happening around Baby Yoda?
They're done.
Is anybody talking about Baby Yoda anymore?
No, it's funny.
Got quiet.
It's funny, but a year ago I went to Disneyland and there's Baby Yoda stuff all over the Disney Star Wars shop. And now it's slowly going back to Yoda.
They did that to themselves. Do you know when everyone stopped giving a shit about Baby Yoda? Because it was great. Luke fucking Skywalker came, massacred a whole bunch of droids in an awesome scene. We saw peak what should have been Luke Skywalker, and they took Baby Yoda off for training, and most people never thought about it again. It's over.
They should have ended it there.
Yes. Yeah. We should have never seen him again.
But again, Lucasfilm Lucasfilm suffers again from what Disney suffers from. It's this lack of transparency. It's this idea that they can't admit their faults, their mistakes. They can't admit that maybe announcing a Rey series was a massive mistake, and that they can't admit that, you know, they're just holding on to a thread that's not going to happen, or that's thread. And I'm just getting tired of it. Just tell us the truth. You know, just tell.
They're still not owning up to the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
They're still calling that a success.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still teasing a season 2 for that, aren't they?
I pray it comes. You have no idea how badly I want an Acolyte season 2.
I'm dying for it.
It'd be like Camelot.
Oh, Shah, I'm going to haunt you now. Oh, Shah.
No, wait. We know who should be saying that.
Oh, no.
Oh, Shah. Oh, what's going on?
Like it's a forced ghost.
Hey, there's a lot of mixed reaction to 28 years later. A lot of mixed reaction. I happen to be in the camp of I really love the film. I have a lot of nitpicks as a zombie. I am also a zombie movie fan. Love zombie movies, love the genre. I watched documentaries about zombie movies and Romero, and I was an extra. I played a zombie in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, where I hung out with Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman. I met Tom Savini. He directed me in a scene. I love zombies, and I really, really love 28 Years Later. I like it as the first part of what will be a trilogy. Can't wait to see where it goes. But the reaction has been mixed among the audience. It's gotten generally good reaction online from critics, but the audience is mixed. I think it's like 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. But Danny Boyle, I don't know for you guys. So what do you guys think of it? And I want to go to this quote from the director. What'd you guys, for those who've seen it?
I think it was it was a great first half. The first half of the movie is phenomenal. I loved it. Up until the point where, I don't know, can we say spoilers? Is that all right?
We're in spoiler territory now. So everyone, spoiler warning, you've been warned.
So when they go back to the island, the little boy and his mother, when they go back over to, or not to the island, to England, and that's when everything went off the rails for me. But there was still some gold in there. There were a couple of moments that I did enjoy. I thought it was kind of freaky, that scene on the train where they basically give birth to a baby zombie. Yeah, but he's not a zombie. So it's like, all right, that's kind of interesting. I don't know where this is going. But the guy that they brought in, I don't know, the Dutch or some Norwegian guy that they brought in there, like that character was just kind of annoying as hell, and it kind of took me out of the movie. Even though it was some interesting things, like he's showing them, hey, you know, we got these different types of technology, and you know, we have all of these things going on, and they're completely oblivious to the outside world. They know nothing about cell phones and things like that. So I thought that was interesting, but the character I didn't like. I thought Ralph Fiennes' character was cool, but I didn't like the messaging and everything that they started to layer into the film with his character, and then the mother who was dying. It just like went away from what I thought was a really, really solid first, hour or so of the movie. I thought the first hour was great.
Yeah,
but
I have problems
after that,
with
it just kind of fell off.
Yeah, I have problems with the father. I don't think that needed to happen. There could have been a different way that he parted ways with his son in terms of thinking. But so I have a lot of nitpicks. Plus the fact that if they know that you can get the rage virus from just a little drop of blood going in your eye or nostril, why not wear masks and goggles, or at least glasses? But this is from People magazine. 28 years later, director recalls a nightmare of shooting naked zombies amid intimacy coordinator notes. Oh my God. Badger, I don't know if you have the notes for this story.
It's a short one. Danny Boyle, director of 28 Years Later, described a production issue as a nightmare due to legal restrictions on nudity when filming with a 14-year-old actor, Alfie Williams, who plays Spike, the son of Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. Because the story is set 28 years after the Rage virus outbreak, Boyle originally planned for some of the infected to appear fully unclothed due to clothing decay. However, under the UK's Child Sex Offences Act, nudity is not permitted on set when a minor is present. Boyle was informed by the intimacy coordinator that this meant no real nudity, leading to this seems like the worst loophole ever, leading the team to create prosthetic genitalias to simulate nakedness without violating the law. 28 years later is the third entry in the franchise, following 28 days and 28 weeks. It marks Boyle and screenwriter Alex Garland's return to the hands-on series. Okay. All my co-hosts complained about was the amount of massive swinging dicks that he had to watch through the entire movie.
There was
there was
a significant amount of dongs,
and the alpha has a threat. A film
baby
threat, you
arm,
might say.
man. He got a baby arm just swinging, bro. I was like, why no? I don't need to see this, man. I kept
and
like
the footage is like angles that focus on said film threat. You know,
but those are legal when you have a child, a minor in the.
But this is a dude, so
as long as they're
less
fake dicks.
What if this is a girl? Oh, sorry, honey, we can't show you penises, but here's a massive army of fake ones looking exactly the same, if not worse, than the real ones.
Yeah. And did you notice they really did a great job not showing us boobs?
It's not even balanced.
Of course,
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Did boobs not disintegrate? What do we do?
Well, what do you think?
I guess when you get the rage virus, your boobs go away.
What do you think about this, and also just all the controversy surrounding even the mixed reaction? I was really surprised. I thought, hey, I really enjoyed that. Some nitpicks as a zombie fan, but I walked out generally positive on the movie. Come to find out, the reactions all over the map. People really disliking it, people liking it.
I'm
as a zombie movie,
I like the beginning. I don't like the end.
Yeah.
Although I think the ending, it was like, okay, where's this going? Like, I kind of got intrigued at I guess they're called the Jimmies. I'm not familiar with.
Careful.
Well, not those Jimmies, Badger. No, no,
who
but
knew there
there's
was a late
guys
night
at
talk
the
show?
end. Yeah, the dudes at the end were just kind of like, okay, I guess that's something that's a thing in England. I'm
Did you
not
feel
familiar
bait
with
and
them.
switched? Because the complaint my co-host had was like, I wanted to see Aaron Taylor Johnson. I thought he was the main character, and then it kind of switches.
Well,
I
this was my feeling. This was my feeling. I talked about it on Friday, but the movie did not deliver on the trailer. That trailer was amazing. That trailer had me in all the way, and but I didn't get that movie. You know, it's like, okay, father and son go to the island, they experience zombies, and guess what? They come back fine. There's thrills there, but there you go. And it just, I just felt like I got a much different movie than I expected when I saw those initial trailers. I thought this would be kind of a massive army type thing, and it just felt like an episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I think that's a fair critique, Alan. That trailer is too good, and it's it was so good it outshone the movie, and that can be a real problem. So, we have a lot of news stories today. Chinese studios plan AI-powered remakes of Kung Fu classics. We often talk about AI and how it will affect the industry. This is crazy. From the Hollywood Reporter, the government-endorsed initiative revealed that the Shanghai Film Festival will involve 100 martial arts classics undergoing an AI revitalization. Badger, you have the notes. Can you give us the crux of the story?
At the Shanghai International Film Festival, Chinese studios announced the Kung Fu Movie Heritage Project, 100 Classics AI Revitalization Project, that's a mouthful, which will use AI technology to reimagine and enhance around 100 classic martial arts films. Iconic titles like Bruce Lee's Fists of Fury, Jackie Chan's Drunken Master, and Jet Li's Once Upon a Time in China are among those being digitally revitalized. The project will also include a fully AI-produced animated version of John Woo's A Better Tomorrow titled Cyber Frontier. billed as the world's first full-process AI-produced animated feature film. Led by Zhang Pimin, chairman of the China Film Foundation, and Jianming of Shanghai. Oh my God. Zanzing Culture and Media. Whatever. The initiative aims to modernize images, sound, and production quality while preserving the original storytelling and aesthetics. A fund of $100 million, so $13.9 million basically has been established to launch the project. Partners include the China Film Foundation and other cultural agencies. Chinese government support for AI in media is strong, with regulations and policies already in place to promote the healthy and orderly development of generative AI, such as 2023's interim measures and 2024's measures for the identification of synthetic content. Officials praised the initiative for blending traditional Chinese culture with cutting-edge technology, viewing it as a model for future cultural innovation and preservation.
Here's the issue. Here's what we're going to get. Not fully remade versions of these movies, but restored versions. I mean, some of those prints are actually pretty bad from certain eras of Hong Kong films, and some of these classics. I mean, I get Blu-rays and DVDs, and some of these, they're not in great shape. But if they're going to make changes, this could be like the Star Wars special edition all over again. And using AI to make those changes, I'm not sure how I feel about this. What do you guys think?
So I'm not sure what it is, because if it's just
right
using AI to upscale everything to 4K and like clean it up, that's one thing. But they make it seem like they're going to completely redo it, like those Geo videos we see. Like,
well, for example, you can get the original Star Trek series with Shatner as James T. Kirk. You can get Blu-ray where you can watch it as it was shown in the 60s, or with completely upgraded effects that are all digital. Now, I prefer the original as seen in the 60s. That was the technology at the time, and it is what it is, right? The upgraded versions are distracting. I've only watched a few of those. I hated all of them. They were terrible. So I don't know if you've seen those.
That's how I watched them. I couldn't watch it because I didn't like the old effects, and then the newer effects in the older style let me watch it. Sorry, I'm a charlatan.
It's fine, whatever. So I don't know how I feel about it. I'd have to see one of these, but I'm generally against it.
It says, the initial initiative aims to modernize image, sound, and production quality while preserving the original storytelling and aesthetics. I mean, look, when I watched those movies in the early 80s, they were in pretty bad shape even then.
Yeah.
It would, it's like when they colorize the old black and whites.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is pretty awful. And I feel like maybe we're heading that direction as well. I mean, ultimately we got to see what the first one looks like and see where we're at. But
my question
colorizing, I agree with you. This is like colorizing. And I don't know. I was around back when that was a huge debate among cinephiles or nerds, because I worked at a video store. I still have to this day a laser disc of a colorized King Kong. Now, I haven't watched it, but it looked bad. It was bad. Is that what we have to do to get people to watch the classics? Are we going to colorize the Three Stooges? Like, what are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I mean, at the same time, if your print is all scratchy and is out of, it just looks like a poor transfer, then maybe it is due for an upgrade. But to colorize the first 10 minutes of The Wizard of Oz just doesn't make sense.
But who's asking for this?
Right.
China is.
Right?
They need the money.
No, okay, but they're not going to make money because no one's requesting this. No one's asking for old kung fu movies to come back with an AI slant. Why not just make a new movie with AI, right? Like, no one's asking for these old films.
Well, no one asked for Lilo and Stitch. No one asked for How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay,
And
but
yet
we
people
can't,
are-
you can't compare Lilo and Stitch to Drunken Master, right? It's
No,
like
but
how many people watch Drunken Master?
Right, but the thing is, it's a cash cow here. It's the fact that you can take these old movies, restore the image, make it look pristine on 4K, which you couldn't do before, and then get new life out of those. I
From
think
who,
that's
though?
what they're
No,
going-
no
I
one's
don't-
So is that what
Open
I
movies.
feel like AI is doing more than that? Like, is that all they're doing? They're just
Right.
cleaning it up.
It
Is
says
that
it's a heritage project, which you would assume that meant they're doing it for posterity and for future
Yeah.
generations.
I mean,
but-
I
Drunken
don't have a
Master
problem with
still
that
has
part.
a decent print, but when you think about like Man with the Flying Guillotine and those, those, yeah, I mean, those could use, some tidying up. The really old ones. And I think that's what this is more. It's when Lucas did most of the work on Episode 4 on Star Wars versus Return of the Jedi.
Let's switch gears.
I don't know. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's switch gears. Johnny Depp, in a recent interview, I was a crash test dummy for Me Too. Of course, we know about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case that made the careers of a lot of YouTubers. Actually, LegalTube evolved from that case.
Yeah,
And here
Nick
he is.
Rekieta.
Yeah, here he is from the Times. Yeah, Nick Rekieta. Where's that going?
wish
I have
him
no
well.
idea.
We wish him well.
He said, here he is. I was a crash test dummy for Me Too over a rambling 4-hour session with Jonathan Dean. The actor opens up about the Amber Heard trials, his painful childhood, 40 years of fame, and the friends who turned their backs on him. Badger, if you would.
Johnny Depp expresses deep frustration over how Hollywood peers and associates distanced themselves from him during and after his legal battles with Amber Heard. He is particularly critical of his former agent, Tracy Jacobs, who represented him for nearly 30 years before being dismissed in 2016. Jacobs testified during the Heard trial that studios had grown reluctant to hire Depp due to his on-set behavior, specifically tardiness, a claim that Depp strongly disputes. Depp accuses former colleagues of hypocrisy and betrayal, saying some of the people who turned on him were once close, even attending his children's parties. He compares his situation to being a crash test dummy for the #MeToo movement, noting that Heard's accusations came way before the fall of Harvey Weinstein, which shifted the industry climate. Depp criticizes what he sees as performative support and self-interest in Hollywood, using phrases like death by confetti to describe public support, masking private backstabbing, and sarcastically remarking, better go woke, to express disdain for what he perceives as insincere virtue signaling.
There's been a Netflix series. I couldn't bear to watch it. I tried to watch it. Was not great. I've seen, I was riveted to the trial myself.
I watched it live on
I
Nick Rekieta Shout Out.
watched it
Yeah.
live. It was on in the background. I watched it. Look, a lot of us were obsessed, and there was a hysteria during that time over like Me Too, and Johnny Depp got caught up in it. So what is the result? I'll tell you what the result is now. People are suspicious when they hear about charges now.
Well, it was the Chris
They weren't-
Hardwick thing too, right? Where like,
Right,
and then it
right.
got completely exonerated
Yeah.
from it. It's like, okay, you can't
Yeah.
just believe everyone all the time.
Well, yeah, I
don't
mean,
know
if you
why
look at what happened
people
with Aziz Ansari, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that was ridiculous what happened to him.
Yeah.
His
Right.
career never recovered from that accusation.
He
He didn't even do anything.
Well, I
It
mean,
was a
look like
bad
what we were
day.
just talking about with John Lasseter. All right, Pixar has fallen because of this guy was hugging me too, he was touching me and this stuff. It's like that's what you're going off of, like no real accusations. It's a guy that might be a little bit too friendly around the
Chris
office.
is very
I know a lot of
touchy-feely.
people like that.
You let it happen. You just close your eyes. You just let it happen.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then-
just.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Can't
like
count to 10.
it's just wild to
Hug
me. Like
over.
that destroyed an entire studio, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a power play, by people that were just trying to level up and say, hey, let's get this powerful person out of the way. At least in regards to Pixar with Johnny Depp, and I don't know why he would call himself the crash test dummy for that. I don't see.
I know.
the
I mean,
connection there.
yeah. I mean, he was rich enough to be able to defend himself. Let's put it that way. There are a lot of people who got caught up in the Me Too who couldn't defend themselves.
He was more canary in the coal mine, right? Like, because it made everyone aware of like, oh shit, he got totally lied on or caught up in it.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I mean, watch the Pee Wee as himself documentary, because the second half just goes into the adult video store that he was caught at, and then it was the child pornography that he was accused of having. And you know, this has been around a long time. It's just we like to take powerful people down, and that's kind of what Me Too ultimately felt like it became. Where we could just say whatever about someone powerful and just get away with it.
Right. Now, there are some people who actually deserve it. R. Kelly, you know, and people like that. But
probably Diddy.
There was a lot that didn't, including Johnny Depp.
You know, deserves everything he's getting right now.
I mean, the perspective I see is what frustrates me is actual victims couldn't get their justice, but people who lied did. Or got what they wanted out of it by taking someone down. And that's the most frustrating thing about Me Too with me is that, you know, I know people who were, you know, sexually abused and things like that, and they could never get justice. But now you have people who lie about it, getting millions of dollars, all the publicity. I mean, that's how backwards Me Too became.
It's when, as soon as Me Too charges were used for clout, that's when it became a problem. And, you know, I mean, will Johnny Depp have a comeback? I don't know if that's in the cards, but it's just, I think Hollywood went crazy, but I believe that stuff is still happening. It's just not reported.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the problem is when everything's Me Too. Now that sends up a radar. It's like, oh, you're claiming something happened. Did it really happen, or are you just looking for some payday? And
intimacy
that's the problem.
Coordinators. That's where we got intimacy coordinators from.
Well, I mean, I mean, look, Alan, what you wouldn't do to get a hug from John Lasseter?
Yeah, I would. Never mind. I'm not gonna say.
Come on,
Alan's prepared to sacrifice himself for all of us.
But it was a good one. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, some fun
Something
news
about
out
dropping pants. I'll just say that.
Some fun news out there. Highlander reboot casts Russell Crowe. I'm
to
excited.
play a Spaniard.
I can't wait.
Look, we're not look.
As opposed to the Scotsman.
Let's
playing the Egyptian Spaniard.
Let's not nitpick before the movie's out.
Yeah.
But from Collider, Henry Cavill's Highlander reboot casts legendary actor Russell Crowe in major role exclusive. Badger, if you would.
Russell Crowe has officially joined the cast of Highlander, the long-awaited reboot from John Wick director Chad Stahelski. Crowe will star opposite Henry Cavill, previously announced as the film's immortal lead. Project has been in development for nearly a decade, but is finally moving forward and production scheduled to begin this fall. Stahelski has teased that this Highlander is a broader evolution of the series set from the early 1500s to present-day New York and Hong Kong. The original 1986 film starred Christopher Lambert and became a cult hit, spawning sequels and a TV series, which Henry said he watched all of them. This is from Collider, where they didn't know what he was playing. It has since been updated by Deadline. He is confirmed to be playing Ramirez.
Yes.
So, they postulate he might have been playing the Kurgan or a new character, but we know now that
the article. I don't
Ramirez, not in Collider, but the new Deadline interview. Yes. So,
all right. First of all, this headline casts legendary actor 61 in major role. Who is 61?
Russell Crowe, I would assume.
Russell Crowe, I'm assuming. Is he not 61?
Well, no, but why wouldn't you put Russell Crowe's name in the...
Well, that's an editorial choice, but we don't
click on it. Who's the main actor? And you click on it.
Makes you click. You gets to click. Hey, click.
Who is 61? Who is 61?
They withhold the main info you want. So you read
I'm
the
super
article.
excited about this. Obviously, they worked together in Man of Steel. If you watch the Graham Norton appearance when they were promoting Man of Steel, they tell that story about how Russell Crowe met Henry Cavill, like watching him play football on a field, soccer, when he was visiting another kid that he was filming with, and that kid ran up and asked him about acting and all that. And then one day he realized, oh, that's the kid I talked to when he was working to him on Man of Steel. Yeah, so like it's a kismet type thing, and I totally would buy him as Ramirez if he hopefully does a better accent than Zeus.
Is he gonna trim down, or is he still looking like Kevin James? That's the question that I got.
Yeah, we don't need bloated.
He got to get it. He got to get in the gym, bro. Because Russell Crowe, bro, he put on some weight, man. I ain't never seen nobody blown up like that.
Yeah, a few many beers.
Yeah, he need to get out there. He need to be in the gym 24/7. That dude was huge.
No, I agree with Tom's assessment. I think that it should have went to like Antonio Banderas or somebody like that, or maybe that was too obvious. I don't know.
Yeah,
but look, I trust Henry Cavill, and I think him and Russell Crowe do a fine job.
I mean, and they have a work history together.
Yeah.
So I think that seals it. I don't know. I'm excited. I've always loved that first movie. It is kind of a classic 80s action exploitation fantasy that is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hope they cast a really good villain. You need a good villain.
Well, dude, to follow Clancy Brown, you need a very good actor.
Because the last person I heard for Kurgan, I like him, but I don't exactly know how he'll fit opposite Fassbender. Michael Fassbender is Kurgan.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not horrible.
It's not horrible.
It's not
horrible.
horrible.
I'd rather see like Mads Mikkelsen or somebody like that. But
yeah, Mads would be dope.
Henry said he because obviously the first one's goated, and then there's a bunch of mediocre ones.
Oh,
the TV shows.
Well, the TV show was actually pretty good.
He said he watched all of it, including the TV show, and they found a way to make all of it a structure that's not just one movie that won't be disappointing. So I want to trust in him. Please, Henry. He needs a win.
I'll trust.
Man, you can't, John, bro. Body weight, you cannot have this dude coming in there 300 pounds playing in the water. Let's stop that. Stop it.
I'm just saying, I hope I look that good when I'm 69. I mean, 61.
Okay, and we're no news here. There is an actual news story. The 10 best movie-themed popcorn buckets of 2025. I don't know what they'll be in 2026. I think the popcorn bucket market may have jumped the shark. And I'll just say literally, because here I have the Jaws popcorn bucket. This, to me, is the best one. This is the best one. The Jaws bucket.
You put that on the wall.
Get yourself the Jaws bucket before they're gone. There's a special on Fandango right now. You get 4K Jaws along with the bucket, free shipping, $35. I'm being paid nothing. I'm merely a fan. But let's look at this story. And I gotta say, I may have reached my bucket peak. Even me.
You say that now.
I know. I'm afraid when I see the Galactus one, if it's out there, I might be tempted. $85. $85. But Badger, you've got the story.
Do I? I don't think they have notes for
That's
this
okay.
one.
Let's just scroll and see what the 10 best are and see if you guys agree. These are the 10 best popcorn buckets released in theaters in 2025. The limousine bucket from Thunderbolt.
No.
I mean, I don't know. All right. I mean, it's none of these.
When you look at that, does that just say Thunderbolts to you? Like if you just saw that sitting on somebody's shelf, you're just walking in the house blind. You don't know anything about anything. You're just looking at that. Is that Thunderbolts? Like, is that what you're thinking? No, you're just like, it's a car.
No.
You know?
The next one, the Stitch bucket.
That's a good one.
Okay. That's a drink.
That's a drink. Pass for me. Karate Kid bucket. Alan?
Nah.
Yeah, I could have bought one of those. It looks dumb.
It just looks dumb.
Yeah.
It looks
because you got to smash the top.
Wait, and this is supposed to be the 10 best?
Now this one.
How many buckets have come out this year?
This one, I wish I'd thought to get this. It's the Entity container bucket from Mission Impossible Final Reckoning that actually has the keys. It's kind of like, I like ones that are a prop replica. I have the Ghostbusters Ghost Trap bucket.
That's a
I
good
like
one.
that. It's an actual like prop from the movie. So this one I actually regret not getting. The next one, Chicken Jockey bucket.
Oh, absolutely,
and
yeah.
cup.
Yeah, that's
I'm
dope. I
sold.
like that. I like that.
Pass for me. Pass. Next one, Toothless bucket from How to Train Your Dragon. I'm told this is sold out everywhere. But
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
No, actually, mine has it.
you
I was
have
actually-
it?
Well, the theater has it because I was playing around with it when I was seeing a movie on Monday.
Oh,
or
well,
last
there
week.
you go. There you go. Next one, the Herbie bucket, not out yet. It includes large popcorn, large drink, and candy.
For
plus
how
a
much?
place to store all three. It actually stores.
$99.99.
It's
Yeah, how much is that?
$100.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Are you
I'm like-
kidding me?
I don't know.
No.
I was just saying that. But if the goddamn Galactus head is $80 and this has room for all of that, then I wouldn't be surprised if they charge comparable.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
it might be close.
I like Fantastic Four. I don't know if I like this version of the team. So I don't know if I'm going to get any of these.
Wait, you're not gonna get the Mr. Fantastic where he has his like arm
It looks
or,
like his dong.
or his, whatever that is wrapped around the bucket.
Yeah, this one only $30 with a big popcorn on the side from Cinemark. T-Rex from Jurassic World
Horrible.
Rebirth.
That's all right, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
What are we
And
doing?
here we go. Galactus
Ridiculous.
popcorn, about $85.
I bet you they're the
Includes
same price.
No,
limited
Herbie is $50.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
oh,
Wow.
This looks great. This
yeah.
looks great. I would get this were it not for the $85 price tag.
Yeah.
That's
I believe you
way
get
too
2
much money
large
for a
popcorns
popcorn
with
bucket.
it.
The only way I would get this bucket is if it talked.
You know what? You know
Okay.
what I
Like,
would use
outside
this.
of that.
You know what I would use this bucket for? I'd fill it with some inner bucket. You could make drinks like a tiki that serves like 4 people some tropical drink, like Mai Tais.
Yeah, but if it lights up, you don't want liquids near it. Right?
No, just I'll have an inner bucket inside. Anyways, that's
So
what,
by the way, it's 18 inches tall and 20
Ew.
inches wide.
That's
Yeah.
big, man.
now
That's
this
what she
one.
said.
This one will be popular. Crypto,
that.
the Super Dog popcorn bucket. I'm not
like
getting it. No interest, but
Yeah.
this is going to be popular. It'll fly off
fine.
the shelves.
Oh no. With super speed.
It's fine.
Okay, are any of these
That's
buckets?
it?
I'm thinking Herbie
that's
or
a popcorn.
Galactus are a big maybe.
This is a horrible
Yeah.
list. How did they not have the Mr. Fantastic with his arms wrapped around the popcorn bucket?
That
There's
one.
some-
But how long will this sustain? Are these?
When
Is
when
this
did the
gonna
Dune?
continue?
When did Dune? That was 2023, right? Dune. That's I think when
Yes.
the popcorn bucket like phenomenon exploded. Everybody
did.
had to get that popcorn bucket. I think it's running the end of we're coming to the end of the popcorn bucket craze. I think
Yep.
we're coming to the end because a lot of these just don't even look that interesting, and they're getting more and more expensive. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, at least the
ridiculous.
Doom bucket serve 2 purposes, right? I mean,
I mean, that's the thing. The Dune
Just
bucket
saying.
came out last year. The Dune bucket came out last year, and it's probably the best of the buckets too.
Okay, I was 24. You're right.
It
Yeah.
is the best. What is the Dune Messiah bucket gonna be? You know it will make a comeback. Dune Messiah. By the way, Dune Messiah starts shooting in 2 weeks. It's happening. It is happening. It is scheduled to come out the same day as Avengers Doomsday. One will
that'll
flinch.
get changed. That'll
That'll
changed.
change. Either one will move up or move to next year. That there's no way those 2 movies are opening on the same day. But there will be a Dune Messiah bucket. I don't know if it'll be
it
called
says
Dune
that
Messiah.
the bucket will vibrate.
Maybe it'll be a guild, a spacing guild member. Who knows? But hey, let's get to comments here. And I'm gonna take a break. So Alan, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Here we
Let's start from the top.
Eternal Glory for $5. Just gives $5. Shout out. Well, comment for 2. They should just boldly go away.
All right.
Eternal Glory for 5. Amateur creators using AI is the only thing that will save entertainment. It's over. CD Stein 69, member for 19 months. Bush sounds like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth to appease these normies. We need a return of guys like Lasseter and in comics Jim Shooter.
Facts.
Yeah, shout out. Thumbs up 1981 for $1.99. Palpatine's old dick. God, I love this show. Yeah.
Can you imagine
Palpatine,
how many midichlorians are in a single sperm?
Billions.
Here we go. Sorry.
Ryan Potter for 2. George Lucas's IMDb shows 9 upcoming Star Wars projects. Ariane for 40. Signs of Superman's success, not good. Your opinion, Chris. He's
I'm
ever
right
so
here.
right? Oh, there he is. Where
Yeah.
your signs of
yes.
Superman, the success, the signs aren't good. What do you think?
I don't know. Here's the weird thing. We've seen so many trailers. We've seen this article in Rolling Stone with James Gunn, but it's like the more I see, I don't know. And we had that one trailer. I thought, oh, that trailer's better, but I am really not sure at this point. Fantastic Four, I really have no hope for, to be honest. Fantastic Four is like, Galactus, I think will be good. The rest of the movie, forgettable. Superman could go either way. I've seen things that get me excited. Here's the thing. It's a very different tone from previous Superman movies, from the Richard Donner 1978 original, from the, Bryan Singer tried to reboot, to the Zack Snyder vision. It's different. Is it different better or different worse? I don't know. I think he's going to try to build something different, right? So I want to hear what you guys think, but I'm open-minded. I know a lot of people I thought about doing a thing just pre-reviewing the movie and then seeing if my thoughts actually match after I actually see the movie.
Chris,
What do you
there's such
think
a thing as James.
Yeah, we hate everything.
Thanks, Alan. No, it's true. I'm just hearing people hate the movie they haven't seen. I'm not that way. I'm skeptical, but always open-minded. I want to see the movie first, and then I'll give you my opinion. I'm not giving you my opinion before I see the freaking movie. But what I've seen based on the marketing is it could go either way. I mean, Alan just talked about 28 years later. The trailer was so good, it eclipsed what he saw. And that's a fair critique. I think that's a fair critique to make. But
No,
I don't
think
know.
I think one of the problems that I'm starting to see is, obviously too much James Gunn.
Right.
That's the biggest issue. They need to really lock in on Superman, focus on, David Corn Sweat, focus on Superman, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor. They should be in everything going forward. No James Gunn. I don't need to see James Gunn. I know in these days we are buying the director a lot. People are buying into, it's a Chris Nolan movie or it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's what people are buying into. And so that's
who's the director of
probably why
Fantastic
they're
Four?
leaning in.
No idea.
What's that?
Right. Where I said, who's the director of Fantastic Four? Like, where the fuck is all that promotion? Yeah.
That's why they're leaning into James Gunn. I think it's because they're thinking the director is going to sell the movie for people when no, the director is not going to sell this movie. You're going to sell this on Superman. So just give us Superman. James Gunn needs to back out. I also think they need to lay off of trying to connect this to everything. Don't talk about your connected universe, your DCU. Just talk about Superman. Talk about what a great movie this movie is. And don't focus so much on, this is leading to this, or this is we're getting Supergirl in this, or no more of that. I just want to see James Gunn dip all the way out of all of the advertisements, and let's just focus on David Corn Sweat, because that's what I'm coming to see.
Yeah. Anyone else want to chime in on this?
I don't know. Like I said, I completely agree. I think he does need to take a step back, but I trust Gunn at the end of the day. Like I said, he hasn't disappointed me yet. I put him up there with like guys with like Nolan, who I'll always give them the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise, right? And I haven't loved every single one of Chris Nolan's films. I mean, I'd say 90% of them, but you know, everyone is due for a flop. Like I said earlier in the show, everybody has a bad movie in them. This could be Gunn's, it could be, but it could also be like the best Superman we've gotten since Reeve. So I'm just going to hold back. You know, I think Gunn he does have a lot of writing on this. Okay, let's not pretend he doesn't. This is James Gunn's Superman. I mean, at the end of the day, his name is on it. He's the head of the studio now. He has a lot to prove, and even though no one's saying it out loud, he has to dethrone Marvel. He has to. He has to be the guy to kill the MCU completely, right? Even though no one's saying it out loud, but that is the pressure that he's getting put under. So I don't know. You know, and maybe he is just a vain guy who loves the sound of his own voice. He's probably that guy too.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, two things can be true. So, but he hasn't proved to be wrong yet. I've liked all his movies, so I have no reason to believe Superman is not going to be good.
But I will say this, Dante, you're right to be skeptical because he, in the promotion and all the social media posts, and we probably pay more attention than the average moviegoer does. We pay attention a lot, but you know, but it just seems when he puts himself front and center, he's already assuming it's a hit. And I feel like it seems like he's kind of out of touch. But every time I've seen David Corn sweat, when the focus is more on the cast, I kind of like what I see.
That's why they need to lean into.
Okay, you know what? I agree with that. But here's the thing you got to think about too. In a weird way, I really love the fact that he is putting himself up front because it's telling me he believes in this project.
Right.
At the end of the day, he believes that Superman's going to be good. I don't get that from anything from Marvel, from the MCU. I don't see any director stepping forward saying, "Oh yeah, I put my stamp on this." Right? Like this is my film. No one wants to claim their films at the MCU.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So the fact that he is, I'm like, okay, he has confidence in it. He believes
Ryan
in
Coogler, he's super happy about Ironheart. His name was on there and everything.
Oh God,
great.
Yeah,
no.
well,
It comes with
There's no, after having watched it, there's no way.
He
thank
will
you,
distance himself from that as fast as humanly possible.
thank you, Arian, for that thing that caused a discussion.
Ironheart Sinners probably paid for Ironheart.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Ironheart probably paid for Sinners. That's what I'm trying to say.
let's do more comments here as we get close to wrapping up. But I have
Colorado
some big announcements. Big announcements. Don't leave.
Colorado Kid for $2. 28 inches later. Beat up. Yeah, that's a fun
Thank
arcade.
Colorado Kid.
Matthew Hammond for $2 was the mysterious Top Gun Maverick enemy Iran.
Thanks, Matthew. That's funny because like literally I watched stuff about that mission and it's literally Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
And we won in that movie too.
Yeah, America. Next.
There you go. Let's see. Well, I got to show you what's happened from that here. We'll go right here just to show this. Because there you go. That's going to tie in. So I don't know if you guys are into Legos, but there.
I think I
almost
have
lose a
that
piece.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dante didn't get to see it. I want to show it to Dante.
He loved it. The Smart Review member for 15 months, 28 years later was trash. Oh my God. 2025 is sloppier.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's fair for you to have that opinion. What I don't like is the debate or the discussion or the assumption that someone is wrong if they don't have that opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Movies are subjective. My experience of a film is different than yours. A lot of times we align, we see the same things. We love a movie and or hate a movie. But this idea that, oh my God, it was terrible. How could you think that you like it? And the audience is very divided on this one. And I think it's not productive to say, well, you're wrong for not having the same opinion as myself. And I see that more in politics than anything else, but there can be that's a different kind of discussion. You can discuss art, in a different way. I don't know. I don't like that attitude, but
movies hit us all
review, that's
differently.
Yeah.
We're all
Yes.
different people. We're all different people, and movies hit us all differently. So yeah, I completely agree, Chris. I get a lot of grief because I say Andor was great. I say that and I get heat for that, man. And it's like, I
Yeah.
thought it was great. That's my opinion. Do you want me to lie? Do you want me to say something that I don't believe? I thought it was great. That's the way it hit me. And a lot of people feel the exact same way. But you should be able to express that and then have that conversation rather than getting like dumped on because
We're
you
very,
like
very
something that
tribal.
somebody else.
We're very tribal.
It-
I
it-
liked things in Andor, and I liked things in Dave Filoni, and I hate things in Andor, and I hate things in Dave Filoni type thing. It could be both.
Yeah.
Same thing with Superman. I love a lot of Zack Snyder stuff. I'm sure I'm going to love a lot of James Gunn, but you can't mention one thing about this without you're a fucking Zack Snyder bro, or you're a James Gunn bro.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But what I'm
killing me,
saying
guys.
is,
Yeah.
this is a fair from the smart review. It's fair
Yeah.
for him, her, I don't know. I'm sorry for this person to think that's fine, but you can't say absolute was trash that you thought it was trash. I thought it, I enjoyed it much more obviously than you. So there's a different way to talk about it that doesn't make other people wrong for their opinion. I love to hear opinions that differ from my own. Help me see what you saw that you did not like. That's a more productive conversation. I mean, my mind has been swayed both ways. I disliked a movie more, after listening to other people. Sometimes I began to appreciate a movie more after more viewings. I saw things that other people saw I didn't notice the first time. So I like
I'll,
more
I'll continue to defend Madam Web. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, we had a blast
I
watching
love
it.
Madam Web.
We laughed our
I had
asses
a
off.
great time.
Not a great movie, but a great time at the movies. I thought that was cool.
No comment
Anyways,
for 5. All these new remakes are worthless, like fake Hooters on a zombie worthless. That's just IMO. And John D. DiMaggio, his Joker was better than Mark Hamill, more darker. Well, in your opinion.
there you go.
So that's a
Again,
question. Since I haven't seen the movie, was all the zombie nudity needed? Like, was that like a thing that had to happen?
It was logical. It was logical.
Yeah, they were
logical.
trying to go for realism. And,
Got it.
logically, yeah, the clothes isn't going to stay on you.
Also, by the way, Night of the Living Dead also had full nude zombies. People don't remember
That's
that.
right, they did.
Yeah, but full nudity of women too, and apparently they were a little lackluster on the booba representation, as Alan pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stitch, remember for 18 months, remake Into the Fist.
Thank you, Stitch.
Eric Stratton, member for 30 months, regarding upgraded old movies and shows. I really don't like colorized Three Stooges shorts. Yep, they exist. Give me the black and white raw.
Thank you, Eric. We agree on that.
Aaron Charman for 20. Can you have a little book like As? This one's for the Galactus Bucket Fund. Yeah, so you can just have a little.
Oh,
for the Galactus.
I know. As does
As.
that. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, that's for the fund. There you go.
I mean, you better get it now, man, before all the scalpers get them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and also I want to mention something. If you're a member of the channel, we have partnered with the LA Philharmonic. We have we're doing ticket giveaways. We did one for Grease. We're doing one with Jaws live in concert. If you live in the LA area at the Hollywood Bowl on July 5th, they're showing Jaws with the complete score. There's a discount code on both our community tab on YouTube and on our X account. And we'll be sponsoring all these concerts at the Hollywood Bowl. So if you're a member, we did a ticket giveaway. So just letting you know about that. And then also here to announce, we are doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. For those that are attending San Diego Comic-Con, we're doing the Indie Filmmakers Survival Guide. Jim Agnew will be there. Jeff Miller, the director of Popeye the Slayer Man. April Wright, who did the documentary Stunt Women, The Untold Story. Tracy Lehman, who did Bob Trevino Likes It. And Tim Chismer. That's Thursday, July 24th at 7 p.m. I'll be on that panel as well. Alan, I assume you'll be there, right?
I will be there in the audience.
Should I put you on the graphic?
Well, what am I going to say?
Well, it says and more.
And more. Okay. I could do
You're
more.
the and more. So there you go.
And the rest, yes.
And the rest. Great. So check that out. And we appreciate our members. We do giveaways, bonus footage. Tomorrow, you will see it started at 5 p.m. and went to almost 1 in the morning. Reviews of every episode of Ironheart. And tomorrow afternoon, we'll do a live stream. Ironheart premieres tomorrow. We will be doing a Tuesday version of Film Threat After Dark. I think at 2 or 3 p.m. Pacific time. Just check
You
the
should
channel.
pick one, though.
Yes.
2 or 3.
2/3. Maybe I could do.
When is the embargo up?
Well,
Well,
it's up at 6. But we're doing a live stream. We'll be doing news stories, and then we will review and discuss Ironheart. So
wait.
look
So we
tomorrow,
can't do anything until 6 o'clock tomorrow.
6 p.m.
Wow.
We'll drop your videos then. What I'm saying is we're going to do an early live stream where we talk about it and then clip out our review. And you, Dante and DA, you're welcome to join us. We'll do that. And then I want to push people to your streams or your videos.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you're planning that. So that's tomorrow, Ironheart. I can tell you, Alan has a lot to say.
I'm pretty pissed off. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I have a lot to say, but I recorded my live reaction. I'm going to post for members only. DA, I think you did the same.
I did the same. Yeah.
That's
I got 6 live reactions after about 3 or 4 vodkas.
What was great though? What was great is that you can see DA devolve throughout the whole evening. Like
We all
this video
We
at
all
first was like
did.
real upbeat. Then by like episode 6, he was like hanging on the floor, trying to record his review. I'm like, dude,
Bro, I haven't even watched them yet. I gotta I'm gonna watch them and edit them tonight so I can put them up tomorrow. I already know I was toasted, man. You were
We
gone.
were all
by
toasted.
episode 6. You were.
And on this, we had pizzas. We had pizzas to celebrate.
Yeah. I don't
Pizza wasn't
understand
bad.
why
The
they
pizza
didn't
wasn't
save
bad.
it for Juneteenth. It would have been a
Wasted
Right.
opportunity.
They got as close as they could, right?
I know.
Hey, Chris, can I just
Please.
I have a question. I just put an article in the private chat. I just want to get everybody's thoughts on it. You don't have to dive deep into it, but just the headline alone. You guys might have already seen this. This was an article on Variety. I'm just curious what everybody thinks because I love movies. All right. I love the theater going experience. And this is what we're hearing from executives, the executives of movies that or the theaters. They're saying we got about 20 years left.
Yeah, I saw that.
What?
And that's it.
Okay,
That's all
okay.
we got left.
All right. Badger, if you can look that up and read the story. This is a surprise article here. Let's get into it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
More than 50% of exhibition executives polled in a new survey believe that the traditional cinema experience has less than 20 years remaining as a viable business model. The poll, conducted by analyst and author Stephen Follows in collaboration with exhibitor news outlets, Screen Dollars surveyed 246 US-based executives in the film industry to give their opinions on the theatrical landscape's recovery after COVID, lockdowns, flexible release windowing, and the future of the business amid streaming's prominence. When asked, how long do you expect the traditional cinema experience to remain a viable business model? Roughly 55% of exhibition executives stated that they believed it had less than 20 years, giving other available answers such as less than 5 years, 5 to 10 years, or 10 to 20. However, exhibitors were more likely to predict more than 20 years compared to executives in other fields like TV production and sales distribution. Of those polled, sales and distribution executives were the most pessimistic in their forecasts, with more than 60% believing the model had less than 20 years.
Well, I'll just say this. Drive-in movie theaters in the 60s, there were 6,000 drive-in screens.
Yep.
Currently, there are between 300 and 400. That's it. like traditional TV is not pulling the numbers that it used to. Award shows, people don't watch them like they used to. There are very few events. I mean, I think there will always be movie theaters, but it may end up being like, vinyl and records.
That's what it notes here, that it would just update. The thing at the end is the damning one. Among other findings in the poll, nearly 90% of U.S. exhibition executives stated that their revenue has not recovered to pre-COVID levels. An overwhelming majority of them, 81%, also want an exclusive theatrical window on new releases lasting at least 6 weeks, while 77% believe the day-to-day streaming releases have a negative impact on the theatrical model. So
I think 6 weeks, honestly, is way too short, man. 6 weeks, I can wait 6 weeks. If there's a movie that's out and it's like I'm on the fence, 6 weeks is nothing. You got to make it 90 days. You got to push it all the way out 3 months. Do you really want to wait 3 months to watch Superman? Ooh, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and watch. But if you say 6 weeks, I can wait 6 weeks. I can wait. That's nothing. I can do that on my head. All right. You got to start pushing. They really got to work on these theatrical windows, man, because that's what's, in my opinion, that's what's driving down going to the movies. Dinner in a movie used to be what we did with all of our dates. It's like now it's Netflix and chill, like that kind of stuff. It bothers me because, again, I'm a movie fan. I like going to the theater. I like the communal experience, the shared experience of going to movies, talking to people when I get out of the theater. Hey, like I always remember this experience when I went to Infinity War. I took my son and we walked out of Infinity War, and, we were kind of talking amongst ourselves. And then all of a sudden, just random people joined in on that conversation. Like people I didn't even know. And they walked up and said, yo, I like this part. I like our part. What do you think's going to happen next? And it was this giant communal experience. And I feel like that's going to go away. Like it'll go online and, people on the chats, but there's nothing like the actual, like in-person experience with other fans and other moviegoers. Like I will miss that badly if it just goes down to, okay, well, it mentions it here. It's just going to be IMAX and 40X, and it's just going to be big movies. And that's it. You're not going to get your just smaller type films. And that, I don't know, that just bothers me, man.
Well, I think what bothers me is I think they implicitly blame us, the consumer, for this. And not the studios for producing garbage over the last two to 3 years.
That first part,
the strike,
for sure.
The strike didn't help. And then the other thing is, here's the prognostication: when Cinemark fails, it's over. It's the beginning of the end.
Cinemark specifically,
I think so. Yeah, I mean, Cinemark, I think, is the third in between Regal and AMC.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know. Cinemark is my only theater, so we lose our Cinemark, we're in trouble.
We have a few more super chats. Let's wrap up, and then we're gonna point you all to Badgercast right after this.
Marco for 5. James Gunn would find a way to hire 20 people for a Robinson Crusoe movie. By the way, I'd love to visit San Diego Disease Con one day.
What's that?
Disease
Comic Crud.
Comic-Con. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Tyler Disney for 10. I will go to your panel, Chris.
All right, one person.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Maybe
Tyler.
you should film it while you're at it.
Yeah, Tyler, film it. But don't press pause. Be careful. You got to get the whole panel.
Retromeister for 5. Turning Red is still the worst Pixar movie of all time instead of Elio, that caused people to leave the studio for John Lasseter's Skydance animation.
I think the animation is far worse in Elio than Turning Red.
I would agree. All right, that's wrapping it up for us today. Remember to subscribe to Film Thread, email, newsletter. I don't know why I clicked that, but I clicked it. Follow us on all the socials. Hey, what do you guys got going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Dante from Verbal Riot. Follow me on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and look forward to my Ironheart video, which I should have ready for you tomorrow.
Absolutely, Ironheart.
And DRL this Thursday, 6 p.m.
That's right. You have any special guests, Dante?
Not yet. It might just be me.
We'll
see.
Yo, what's up? Derek Anderson, the DA. So yeah, I'm doing a nightcap tomorrow night. We're probably going to start a little earlier than normal. We normally start at 10 p.m. Pacific. We'll probably go live at 8:30, talking Ironheart, of course. So hang out with us, join us. We usually walk through the entire episode. Now we got 3 episodes that we got to walk through. So it's going to be a long show, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have guests on and we'll chop it up. And it's going to be a blast because, Ironheart, man. Oh boy, I can't wait to talk about this show.
Badgercast. Yeah, we'll talk about Highlander, all the upcoming things, the new Superman promos, and looks like the entire plot of Fantastic Four just leaked online. So we'll be going over that, see if it's true or not.
Wait, what happened?
It looks like a leak of the plot of Fantastic Four. Someone who saw it and just described everything that happens. So,
we'll
let you know.
Read it while you can.
Where is it? Can we go to it?
I'll post the link.
But you
So
start
watch
playing the music already.
Badgercast, Chris. You got to watch
Come on.
Badgercast.
Yeah.
doing there?
Badgercast. Everyone go to Badgercast. I put the link in the comments because I don't know how to point to it. So thank you so much. Thank you to Alan. Did you get your washing machine? Your dishwasher?
No.
It hasn't arrived?
No, it arrived, but apparently my plumbing needs some fixing before they can install it.
Okay. All right, that's good. Cool. We'll be back tomorrow night, a special an Iron Shard special. Iron Shard? Iron Heart.
Shark.
Iron
That's what it's going to be. Iron Shard.
Radiant? Was that-
Iron
Change of
Heart
underwear.
special. We will discuss it all tomorrow. Get it out of our systems.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back this Friday with reviews of Megan 2.0, F1, among others. Alan?
Let's get out of here.